Hello.
Hello!
Welcome to Drunk K-Pop, the show where we watch K-pop videos and get wasted.
Oh!
I'm Claire.
And I'm Abby.
And we are K-pop moms here to guide you on a spiritual journey through K-pop. We haven't birthed anyone, to be honest. We're not real moms, but we're your moms.
We're here to mom the fuck out of you and help you find your way through this very confusing jungle of industry.
Yes, very much so.
And on that note, today, we're not watching anything. We're discussing. It's discussion time! If you have followed our channel, you may have noticed that we had our Road to Kingdom series in which we started watching music videos by each of the contestants in MNet's Road to Kingdom to kind of prepare ourselves for the show. And so, thanks to some comment requests, we decided to do a, sort of halfway check-in on our thoughts on the show.
Yeah. We should mention that we are both TV professionals, so when we talk about this sort of thing, it's not really just coming out of thin air. We do have backup to talk about why these things do and do not work.
We have been on set a lot.
Yes.
And are very familiar with how set decisions affect the overall production.
So let's do overall thoughts first.
Yes, just the general show itself.
Let's talk about the stage.
I hate it.
It's a lengthy stage. I get it. It's a road. I get it.
Get the idea.
But it doesn't serve the artists well.
Mm-hmm.
It's barely wide enough to fit them when they're facing the one direction, and when you are the lengthwise wide, you can't get everyone in camera. There are so many people in The Boys. And you can't
11 boys.
There's 11 boys, and you can't fit all of them in the frame, because you can't get far enough back because the space is too small, and it just doesn't work. And I think that some of the shots are creative. I get it. You can be close up on one person, steady cam,
turn around
and run down the path,
the group.
find them. But they do that at least twice in the same episode.
Yeah,
so.
It gets boring really fast because there's only so many movements you can do within a stage of that shape. There just isn't enough depth to really do a lot. So you're just following one guy and then turning around and following one guy at the other end and then turning around and then following them back. It's not really dynamic. And
the overhead camera to get the higher shot of the road to the kingdom is not a great angle. And
they keep using it more than necessary.
Yeah, and more is not more.
Mm-hmm. That's not what Twice would say.
That's true.
What
more
we
and
would
more.
say.
That's what we have to say about this.
It's too much.
Yes.
It's too much. And the thing is, you can see, if you watch the fan cam of Yua from the ONF stage, so she's doing her dance stuff and then she walks off stage, and so you can see they followed the camera as she went off stage, and you can see all of the other cameras sitting there. They're just all in a big group in one spot because there's nowhere else for them to be that isn't in the shot.
They can't put them anywhere else.
And that's just not well designed. I get we're trying to. I'm curious about if they came up with the design of this before COVID really hit, or if they were okay, we need to design a stage that is not reliant on an audience.
Yeah.
Because I get being okay, if we design a stage with a big audience space and there's no one there, that's weird.
Yeah.
It sucks. But also we just need space. Some of the best parts of Queendom is that they had all of that space to work with, and they also had that little side stage. They had a lot of movement to work out. So you could have, we're switching over here, and then we're switching over here, and then here's this and this big thing, and there's stuff behind, there's stuff forward. There was more to work with, and the Road to Kingdom stage is just not.
There's not as much to work with. I get that there's giant screens that flash a lot of things, but it's not as much stage itself, so they have less to work with.
Yes. And also, for one thing, the screens themselves are small, so they can't really use it for, backdrop effects. They did a little bit, for example, the Golden Child, the violin number.
Yeah.
They used it somewhat to help with that effect, but not nearly to the level that, for example, G-Idol was able to use with their Lion stage.
Yeah.
Of all of that backdrop. And that sucks. It sucks.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame, but I get they don't want to make it as big as Kingdom so that Kingdom feels like it's something to graduate to.
Yeah.
But I don't think that it suits performance style well.
Let's discuss how the lights are way too fucking bright and are not designed for broadcast.
Yeah. They're too bright, they catch on the cameras, then it makes it hard to see the faces. It probably looks great in person, but it's from too many angles and too many directions makes it very difficult to see.
But no, well the thing is that if you're going to design the stage like, okay, we don't have an audience. Fucking design your lights.
Yeah.
To also work with that. To go, okay, we can't have any lights that point straight forward at the camera. That doesn't make sense. We can't see anything. Like, I mean, when we watch the subtitled versions, like, they're not 100% like 1080p HD.
Yeah. Because
internet varies because we're in a pandemic. But, like, there still needs to be, it's a problem that we can't, like, it fuzzes out the shot so much we literally can't see facial features and we can't tell who is who.
Yeah.
Like, we're halfway through the show and I still barely know characters at this point. And in Queendom, I knew every single member of every single group at this point. That's a problem.
Yeah, I want MNet's best friend race.
Give me MNet's best friend race!
They got there in the last episode with the collabs, I think. The previous episode, rather.
I still want more best friends.
I want more best friends. I hope that the best friend race continues, but they got there a little bit. So I want to acknowledge that effort. Mm-hmm. That the collabs brought forth a lot of the best friend race that I was looking for. The weird breathing at the end of numbers. I think they've stopped doing that now, but hated it when it was still happening.
That.
I get that you don't get the cheering because there's no audience there, but I don't want to hear them.
Just cut the shot. Because they would do, like, the ending fairy shot of, like, okay, here's someone being, like, good looking and staring into the camera, and then they would cut to the wide of them just standing there breathing. Like, this was especially bad during, like, the Pentagon number, and they're all just sitting there sobbing.
Yeah.
And you just listen to them sobbing, and you're like, why?
Why are you doing this to me?
On the topic of the best friend race and the collabs and stuff, like, I am really annoyed that they chose to actually do eliminations.
Yeah.
I think that it sort of misses because the charm of Queendom, why we liked it so much and why the general public liked it so much, is that it was just groups getting to show different sides of themselves and getting to be creative. And that was fine. And it was like growth. Every group grew and changed. And you can see that with their like more recent releases that they've done after the show. They've all learned from each other and tried different angles, and that's fine.
And it's
Just
fun.
let us do that. We don't need to send people home. There is no reason.
Yeah.
There is zero reason.
Like, I get you're doing it for TV drama, but this show could do so well without it anyway, and I don't think it's necessary for the TV drama.
Like, the thing is, we get that much TV drama with, there are plenty of other MNet competition shows that we'll watch. We'll watch that Show Me the Bunny, we'll watch a million others. This one, we just want a bunch of boy groups to, like, part of the joy of it is people supporting each other, watching them be supportive of each other. And so, like, it's fun to have rookies on there that come in and all the older guys are like, yeah, do it! And, like, that's fun.
Yeah, I like that.
I want that. Give me more of that.
Yes. So, the first official round was King's Song.
Song of the King.
Song of the King.
Which I was so here for as a challenge.
Yes.
I love that. I love that they got to pick whatever they wanted, whatever, like, what do you think is the most impactful of a male release?
Yes.
That's really cool, and it provided a lot of diverse options.
Yes.
Which people made varying choices.
And I think that's my overall thought of the round itself, is that people made a lot of choices, and I think that some of the chosen songs didn't suit the artists specifically, even if they were good artists that they were referencing, even if they were good songs that they were covering.
Yeah.
I don't think they served the artists very well for some of them, and that made it so much more, that made the others shine so much more when they chose a good song. Yeah,
because, a big part of this show of being able to choose what you want is it's a two-pronged thing of, one, you have to choose a song that is important enough for everyone to know, and everyone to acknowledge, oh yeah, that's like a King song, like, hell yeah, we've all heard that song, we know that one is super impactful, like, love that. And then two, you need to be able to perform it. It needs to fit your brand as well.
Yeah.
So we're going to give personal rankings for the performances.
Yes.
For each of these rounds. So, round 1, what's your ranking?
From 1 to 7, I'm going to go The Boys, Pentagon, TOO, On and Off, Golden Child, Very Very, One Us.
All right, I'm here for those.
What about you?
Those. So for mine, I'm going to give The Boys, Pentagon, Golden Child, On and Off, Very Very, TOO, and One Us.
We agree on a few, we disagree on a couple too.
Yeah. I think, fundamentally, we can both agree that the boys did a great job of choosing a song that is both dynamic and interesting. They can do a lot with the stage, and to fit their vocals.
Yes.
They hit those notes, bitch!
They did, and they chose a song that you were like, yeah, that's a King song, so it made sense because it's Taemin.
Yeah.
And they have so many boys, and they utilized them all in all of these crazy stunts and awesomeness and choreography, and they paid homage well at certain parts while doing their own thing at other times, and I thought they balanced that well and showed the boys as well as Taemin cover.
Yeah. And I think I think another fundamental issue is that a lot of these remixes, because everybody's doing like remixes of these songs to make it into their own thing, and I get that, but the fundamental thing is you have to keep the key points of the melody that make you think, ah, yes, this is that song, which some of these artists did not do well. Yeah. But the boys did very well of keeping, like, okay, we know the chorus points, we know, like, the airplane thing, like the dance move, and the shaky thing. They did the important stuff that you remember and go, yes, that is danger, when I think about it. While still instilling a story. The magic tricks were like, but it's fine. They weren't super necessary.
The running on the bodies, though.
That shit
was awesome.
Was crazy. That was so cool. And also, as someone who has just finished playing Persona 5 Royal, it made me extra happy to see Fan of Thieves. I was like, Persona!
And I think that other people chose really good songs too, but for example, On and Off chose Everybody by Shiny. Shiny Kings, great.
Yep.
But their concept of this weird, like, occult, like, oogie boogie beginning, and the way that they remixed, especially the beginning, was very odd. And
they lost the key melody.
Yeah, so I think they found it in the end, they got there, and delivered a good cover by the end, but I don't think that they remixed it well. They didn't treat it like they should have.
Yes. Yeah, I think, well, also in general, I'm like, if you want to do Shiny and you want to go dark, there are other dark songs for you to work with. There's Lucifer, clear example. That's also a song of a king. That song did fucking amazing. Yeah. Everyone knows that song. And that would have been really cool if they had done the tutting thing, because everyone knows that and would have immediately been like, that's impressive. Yeah. Hell yeah. And they can do it. They're skilled enough to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Or they could have done, like, Married to the Music is also, like, super great vocals, fun to play with, but also edgy, and you could go edgier with it, and that would be fun. But it's weird to choose Everybody, which is such a... It's, for one, it's not my favorite Shiny song, but also it's just sort of flat as far as, like, lyrical... Like, it's just, it doesn't really say anything. It doesn't really have anything to say.
Yeah.
So it's just sort of there.
Yeah.
So you can't... It feels weird to be like, we're going to take this song about just being energetic and just... perk up and let's do it, and you're going to turn it
slow and creepy.
Dark. The one thing that I think they could have taken is that the Everybody original choreo is wind-up dolls, is the idea. And they could have taken that and added it to the Twisted concept, but they didn't do that. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I guess.
Yeah. The one other thing I want to mention from this round is T.O.O., who did not perform very well in their 90-second introductions because they just did not know what they were getting themselves into.
They just only have one song.
They only have one song. They were babies. They debuted like the week before. And they are tiny, tiny babies. And so I think that they really stepped up their game in the Kings round. They had some cool tricks. They had some formations. They had notes. So
I will say they didn't quite hit the Changmin note. Almost, but didn't quite hit the scream, but, like, I'll give them a point for trying.
Yeah. So I just wanted to throw that out there. The Mangnaes did alright.
They did, yeah. The choreo was dope.
Yeah.
I really liked the, like, table move.
Yes.
That was neat. I want to give a shout out to Golden Child because I fucking loved that song. I had not heard that song before, and, Twinkling of Paradise Banana. Like, it's so good, and, like, it was just enough, I don't know, just enough sparkle, just enough, effects of, like, the feathers on the suits and stuff like that to give the image of, yes, we're connecting Swan Lake, like, that's what we're doing. I'm getting that, without being too on the head, of, like, showing up with beaks or some shit like that.
It was pretty on the head.
I mean, but, well, it wasn't too far, though. to me.
Okay.
It was like just the amount that I wanted to like tell the story that we needed, and to be like, oh, I get the connection without being overwhelming.
Yes, and I like the part with the fans and the wings.
When he fan kicked and the fans followed the kick.
A fan kick?
A literal fan kick? Are you kidding me? That was so cool.
Very nice. Shall we move on to the next round?
Sure. Rankings for round 2. I have the boys, Very Very, Pentagon, Golden Child, On and Off, Oneness, and TOL. What are yours?
I have the boys, Pentagon, Golden Child, On and Off, Very Very, Oneness, TOL.
Okay. Yeah, so we both agree again that the boys fucking did that.
They did. They did it. They had the ships made of human people that came up to cross flags, and it was like...
Human ships?
Like,
are you fucking kidding me?
Who picks a concept of the revolution of the proletariat for
like,
their K-pop number and then pulls it off?
They actually did that.
They had so many tableaus. Everything was artistic. Even the painting obviously was a tableau, but they had other tableaus as well, like the ships, and I thought it was beautiful.
Everything was beautiful the whole time.
Yeah.
And they really and the thing that the boys, I think that I'm enjoying the most about the boys and their performances is that I am really getting time to appreciate each member without it being like there's too much time for this member. Like, I'm getting to go, oh yes, I know that guy, and I know that one, and like, yes, I recognize him. Oh, and he is the good vocalist. I still haven't learned all of their names yet, but like, I am recognizing faces and going like, yes, I could pull him out of a hat and say, yes, that's the boys.
Yes.
Which is something I couldn't do before, so that's really good.
It works
really
out
for that.
I'd also love to talk about Pentagon. Which was deeply emotionally affecting.
Oh, it was so good.
It was so good, and I want to talk about my babies.
Yeah.
Like, my children. My boys.
Yeah.
That was so emotional, and it was so emotional for them, and the heavy weeping made me cry. Mm-hmm. But also, I thought that it was a refreshing and creative concept in the first place, like with the suitcases and
it was the direction
happy.
that we wanted them, that we were hoping they would go in the first place, of like, that is a charm that only Pentagon can pull off. There are not many groups that can do that.
Yeah.
And so they still managed to be, like, really impressive and memorable, especially vocally, while also, like, being fun. And it felt like I was going on a road trip with them.
Yeah.
And we're just going on a trip, like a graduation trip together. Even though we're all, like, grown men. But, like, it's fine.
It's fine. And so I wanted to say that besides the emotional factor of it, I also thought the number was good.
Mm-hmm. Why am I, like, tearing up?
Because there's no reason. Are you crying because of Pentagon?
Because I want to go on a graduation trip. I want to go on a trip. Please go somewhere.
I don't want a trip anywhere.
But yeah, I'm really thankful for Pentagon for managing to pull that off and bringing that in, because everybody's just going darker and darker and darker.
Yeah.
Which, fun, but also we could change that up.
Yeah.
Which,
Golden Child.
They did so well.
Live violin, first of all, and they had like the orchestra behind them.
Yeah.
They were robbed.
Honestly, that we were really upset that they were eliminated, because they legitimately had great performances both rounds, and it doesn't make sense to me that they were.
I don't get it. Like, I'm not saying they're first. I'm just saying they shouldn't have been last.
Yeah. Because, well, I think that's the fundamental thing that I'm worried about with the show, of that without an audience to go by, like, stage impact, we're just going by fandom votes.
Yeah.
And that is kind of shitty.
Yeah.
Especially for some groups that, like, that's groups that have been around longer, or, for example, TOO already has a fan base that are, like, used to voting because they're people that, like, it was already off of one show onto another show.
World class.
So they're well practiced in how to vote.
Yeah.
Which, you know, like, I don't mean that they should go home immediately, but just, like, there is a clear difference in, like, the levels of creativity, in the levels of, like, stage presence and comfort on stage and comfort in trying new things, and Golden Child deserved more.
Yeah. And I think TO just haven't grown enough yet. They haven't had the time. They're super talented. Like, they perform so much better than the average rookie group. But I think that they need more time to develop.
Yeah.
Because they don't have that, like, presence. And you can see from the number they did in this round with the good and bad and the judgment guy in the middle was just, it was just,
Why
like,
was he there?
A lot.
Why would you... That's the thing is, I'm like, I want a question of if... Did that guy, like, turn his ankle or something? What is the reason for him to just stand there through the whole number like, because I get the dark versus the light. They're already a little disadvantaged by only having. Please, ma'am, you want to come up here? That guy just stood there the whole time.
So maybe if he was injured, that would make sense, but it didn't seem like that because they didn't make that part of the storyline, and if they had footage of that, they would have made that a drama point.
Yeah.
So I thought it was just, like, they had a lot of ideas, and they didn't all play out well.
Mm-hmm. That's the fundamental thing, is that because they have less stage experience, they're less experienced in knowing, okay, how is this going to translate on stage?
Yeah. I did feel bad that they had to perform their song twice. They performed Magnolia in the 90-second challenge as well as in the My Song challenge.
But also, like, why were they put on the show if they only had one song?
Yeah.
Like, I understand you want more screen time for your group that has just been formed through another show, but also, like, don't do that to them.
Yeah,
that's
really
rough for them to have to deal with.
They're so talented. Like, just give them time.
Just give them, like, at least have a mini album.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Do you want to give rankings for the collaboration round?
Yes, I do.
All right.
I would say On and Off and Pentagon with Kill This Love, and then The Boys and One Us with Heroin, and then TOO and Very Very with On.
Yes. I think I'm just going to switch that up with, I want Heroin as number 1, Kill This Love number 2, and then On number 3.
Mm.
I think the fundamental thing that I really loved about Heroin is that there was such a story to it. The vocals were crazy good. And they really took an original song and translated it into something new. Like, they made a whole new facet of that song, which was just special.
Yeah.
It was nice.
I thought it was good, and I thought for Kill This Love, which is a song that isn't very lyrically impressive, I thought that they arranged the song in such a way that it was incredibly creative to me and served them all very well in a way that was just very, like, killer and smooth and sexy. And I thought
so sexy. Like, the bit where they were, like, in the recording, and Kino, I think it was Kino, that is in the recording booth, and they're like, do it sexy, and he, like, did it, and I literally out loud was like, oh my.
So I thought that was still a great number. And then as far as On goes, I'm obviously a BTS fan, but that's a hard song. Mm-hmm. Like, that is a difficult thing to pick in the first place, and then to put all of your members on stage was just
I get
so
that they
much.
want more screen time. I get that. Getting all the screen time you can. Totally get that. But trying to keep in sync 17 people is really fucking difficult. And I feel so bad for that poor Very Very member who is, like, the drill sergeant guy who was like, okay, we're fucking doing this until you get it right. And then it's still, like, it was pretty good on stage, but it still wasn't on the way that Very Very normally would be.
And it didn't have the concept that, like, The Boys and One Us did, and the storyline or the depth of emotion like Kill This Love did, because it was just sort of like, we are men with guns. We'll see how that turns out when the rest of the round finishes and the next elimination happens, because I am curious to see who it will be.
Yes.
And I don't want it to happen.
Don't, just be like, there's an elimination? Nope, they tied. No one is going home. We just want to keep watching people perform.
Is that so bad?
Just let us perform. That's fine. And also bring back Golden Child.
Yes. Let them have a comeback.
They need to just show up and be like, surprise, we're here again.
Yeah.
That would be great.
I would love that. I would love that.
I feel like we're solid Golden Child fans.
I like Golden Child.
I enjoyed them.
Yeah. I like a lot of these groups now that I've had the time to experience them.
Mm-hmm. Personal shout out to that one kid with the phone banners. It was so cute.
It was so cute. So supportive. Aw. I think that when they started out, the promos and the 90-second challenges were very dark and angsty. Mm-hmm. And I was worried that that was the direction the entire show was going to go. And I'm really relieved and glad to know that it hasn't. And they put a lot of creativity into all of their numbers. Yeah. I think it's been fun and it's been diverse and it's been an enjoyable ride so far.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to seeing what else Road to Kingdom has for us.
Yes, and see who makes it to Kingdom proper.
Dun dun dun! I think it's pretty clear from our rankings who we expect is going to get there.
But you never know.
Things can always change. You never know. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to jump in the comments. Let us know who are you rooting for on Road to Kingdom. Who do you think is going to win? What are you thinking of the round so far? Like, do you disagree with us? That's okay. You're allowed to have your opinion. But we're also allowed to have our opinion. So
yes.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it in the comments.
We can discuss.
Yeah.
It's important to remember we are adults of legal drinking age, drinking in the safety of our own home. We have water and snacks on standby. We have Cheez-its today.
Yeah.
This please take care of yourself, take care of your body, take care of your friends, especially in this time.
And especially make sure to look in our description and take a look at some of the petitions and organizations we have listed to donate to for Black Lives Matter. Make sure to support all of the Black people that you have in your life. And in general, even if you don't really know that many Black people, I agree, Horn.
Yeah.
If you don't know that many Black people, that's okay. It's still important to support them because everyone deserves a chance to have an everyday life and not be policed. Just breathing.
Yeah.
So, make sure
please